Hey, what's up guys, OSG back with another best arcade ports video, and today it's the turn of the Atari ST. The Atari ST gets a bit of a bad rap really, as it was normally credited with being the source of some really bad Amiga games, but it did actually do a great job on some arcade ports. The rivalry between the Amiga and ST owners was right up there with the C64 versus Spectrum at the time, and I hated the ST, but in the last few years I bought one, and I have to say it's a really good system, and actually surpasses the Amiga on some games, but I'll cover that in another video. Okay, so with me not being too familiar with the games on the Atari ST, this list has taken a little longer than normal, but I think I picked 20 cracking games that show that the Atari ST could knock out a great arcade port. So without more delay, let's take a look at the 20 best Atari ST arcade ports ever. In 20th place we have Roadrunner. Okay, so when I'm covering games in this series, they are judged on how good a port they are, and not how good the original game was, because this one really isn't that great. But as far as the port goes, the ST did a great job on this game, even if the game isn't for me. Nineteenth place is taken by Black Tiger. This was a super hard arcade game that was much like Bionic Commando meets Rygar. The ST port was slated for being slow, but run it in 16MHz and it's really fast and very like the arcade. Graphically it's really close, although sound wise it is lacking. Buggy Boy is in 18th position. Shown in some previous videos, this was a really popular arcade game with a free screen cabinet. The Atari ST version is fast and feels like Buggy Boy should. I had a lot of fun playing this version, and as most of the home versions are quite good, this one performs above average in amongst them. In 17th place we have Arkanoid. It's been on every list so far, and as with the previous videos, the ST gets the Arkanoid feel just right. It's a little awkward with a modern day mouse, but using the old ball mouse is really good. It's not up to the standards of the Amiga though, but as an ST owner, you would have been more than happy with this. 16th place is taken by Super Sprint. What an absolute classic this was in the arcades. Me and my mates hammered this all the time, and it was the first free player game that I ever played. The ST version is awesome too, with super speed and perfect controls. All in all, it's a brilliant port of an iconic racing game. Pac-Mania is in 15th position. This was a new twist on Pac-Man, and it was massive in the arcades at the time. We saw this on the Amiga video and that was good, but I have to admit that I actually prefer this one better. It feels faster in the Amiga game and the music is great. For me, this is closer to the arcade with the right aspect ratio. In 14th place we have Super Hang-On. This is another game that has appeared on both good and bad arcade port videos, and this one is definitely worth its place on the good list. It's a little choppy and there's an annoying tick noise, but I'm not sure if that's down to emulation. Apart from that though, this is super fast and has a real sense of speed, which was missing in a lot of racing games back then. 13th place is taken by Commando, another staple port on these lists, and this one, like the Amiga, followed the arcade faithfully. It is one of the closest looking ports of the game and is only marked down by the slight slowdowns and speed ups that occur during the game. That aside, it's still very playable. Blasteroids is in 12th position. This was a really popular arcade game that was a sequel to Asteroids. It pretty much takes the same formula that we loved from the original game and makes it pretty. The ST version is very like the arcade and plays almost identical. The music though is what I like the most about this game, as the gameplay can become monotonous. In 11th place we have Space Harrier. I don't think anyone watching would not know this game. It was like nothing else at the time, and although I've never seen one, had a great full-size cabinet. The Atari game was hard to get used to with mouse control, as I use a laptop, but once I plugged the mouse in it was brilliant. So fast and fun to play. 10th place is taken by Klax. Klax is a game that up until the Amiga video I never even knew was an arcade game. To be honest, I don't think I would have put any money into Klax if I had ever seen it, but as a home port I loved the Amiga version, and after playing the ST game I love that too. I have great nostalgic memories of playing this game with my mother, so it's a winner for me. Starwars is in 9th position. There were so many bad parts of this game, which was an arcade classic. I last played this game in the arcade club in Bury, and although it's not my favourite game, I had to prize my mate Lucas out of it because he loves it. The ST does a great job with this port and it feels just like the arcade, but obviously without the yoke it's a very different game, but it's still good. I'll be interested to see what Lucas thinks of this. In 8th place we have Pang. As I've said in previous videos, I was never a big fan of Pang, but maybe that's starting to change as I played this for a good while making this video. Okay, maybe it's not as good as the Amiga version, but it's a close one to be honest, and this plays super smooth, and I would be happy to play either versions as it's so good. 7th place is taken by Ivan Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. This is a game that was good on all home ports. The 8-bits obviously weren't up to the arcade standards graphically, but gameplay wise they all were brilliant. This version however does have the looks and it's right up there with the high standards that we saw on the Amiga version. Gauntlet II was in 6th position. I picked just one Gauntlet game as the original one is really good too, but I find this one closer to the arcade, and although I'm not a Gauntlet fan, more enjoyable to play. What can I say? It's Gauntlet, and it does everything as expected, so if you like Gauntlet games then go and check this version out. In 5th place we have the New Zealand story. I think I'm becoming soft as I make these lists, because as with Pang I'm actually starting to enjoy playing this game the more versions I play it on. The ST version has great graphics and beautiful colours, and also that annoyingly catchy music that still haunts me from the arcade days. Fourth place is taken by Flying Shark. Flying Shark from Toaplan is a truly beautiful arcade game, but as with most Toaplan shooters, it's hard as nails, and the Atari version is no different. I can only think that the difficulty is why this does not score a higher rating on Atari Age, as I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a bit slower, but in 16MHz it runs so good, and I'd say it's definitely one of the best top-down shooters on the system. Bobble is in 3rd position. It's staggering that this game has been in the top 5 of all the videos so far, and as with the others, the ST version is brilliant. The whole presentation is very like the arcade, and again compared to the original Amiga version, I think this one might just pip it. Not Tiny Bobble though, that one still reigns supreme. In 2nd place we have Joust. We are going all old school for the next 2 games, but the reason they are here is that the execution is next to perfect. Joust was a game that not only was challenging but also frustrating, but frustratingly good if you know what I mean. When I first started making this list I thought this one would have been top, as I remember playing it on my mate's ST and being blown away at how close to the arcade it was. And now, in 1st place we have Moon Patrol. So Moon Patrol was a shoot 'em up with a difference that you had to avoid obstacles on the way. The ST version is one of them rare times that I would say that the home version surpasses the arcade. Everything about this version is perfect. If you were old school and you like Moon Patrol then go and check this version out, it will blow you away. Okay, that's it for this video. It's been fun to cover a system that I own but never really use. I do have more Atari ST stuff planned for the future when I'll be doing a cross-platform multiplayer video with the Amiga. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite Atari ST arcade ports were, and if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more great retro content. And if you're feeling really generous, like these good folk who are going up the screen right now, support me on Patreon. Till next time, this is OSG signing out.